Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Welcome to Shibal Academy. So today we're going to continue where we left off, which is role of small business in rural. When we normally think about rural households and what kind of work they're involved in, the first thing that comes to mind is agriculture. But there is an increasing evidence that suggests otherwise, that rural households have highly varied and multiple sources of income rather than just agriculture. Rural households participate in a wide range of non-agricultural activities such as wage employment, self-employment in commerce, manufacturing, and services, along with traditional rural activities of farming and agricultural labor. So what this means is they have just shifted their main focus from agriculture to more things. That doesn't mean they left agriculture altogether. They're still involved in it, but they're also involved in self-employment, wage employment, self-employment in commerce, that is manufacturing and services. So it's not just agriculture anymore. They still have that, but it's more broader now. This shift from just agriculture to having more varied source of income, this shift can be largely attributed to the policy initiatives taken by the government of India to encourage and promote the setting up of agro-based rural industries. So thanks to the Indian government, it's no longer just agriculture. It's more than just that. It's wage employment, self-employment in commerce, that is manufacturing and services, thanks to the Indian government and their policies to set up agro-based rural industries. And thanks to this, we've seen the shift. And the emphasis on village and small-scale industries are an integral part of India's industry strategy. So the importance on expanding the village and small-scale industries is a very important part of India's industrial strategy. Cottage and rural industries play an important role in providing employment opportunities in the rural areas, especially for the traditional artisans and weaker sections of society. So cottage and rural industries provide employment opportunities for traditional artisans and the weaker sections of society in rural areas. So not only do they, so in the next point we can see development of rural and village industries can also prevent migration of rural population to urban areas in search of employment. So like I said in the last video, there's an unemployment epidemic. So a lot of people from the rural areas move to the urban areas in search of jobs. But what we find is both people who are already there in the urban areas and those who have migrated from the rural areas, they both are jobless, a lot of them. So by promoting cottage and rural industries, not only do they give employment opportunities to the traditional artisans and weaker sections of society, they also give job opportunities to the normal people of rural areas. And because of this, if they can find employment in their own areas, they won't really be migrating to the urban areas that much, thus reducing the crowded unemployment and etc. Village and small industries are both producers of consumer goods and absorbers of surplus labor, thereby solving many problems of poverty and unemployment. So not only do they produce a lot of consumer goods, they also absorb a lot of extra labor. But what I mean by that is there's a lot of people who are jobless, a lot of people. So at times they may be more than, there's more unemployed people than the amount of job opportunities available in the country. So we call them surplus labor. So not only do they, village and small industries produce a lot of consumer goods, they also taken this extra amount of labors and give them job opportunities. So they produce more goods, more consumer goods, and they give opportunities to the jobless. So they solve like two birds with one stone. With small scale industries, they solve poverty in a way by giving them job opportunities and reducing the amount of and also unemployment by reducing the amount of unemployed people in the urban areas. So these industries contribute more for socioeconomic aspects such as reduction in income inequalities, dispersed development of industries, and linkage with other sectors of the economy. Basically, this means is socioeconomic is like social and economic. It's not just the financial aspect, but also the social aspect, which basically means it reduces the amount of income inequalities. So income inequality is sadly a very true thing in India. So what that basically means is, instead of like reducing or increasing the amount of salary on the basis of how much labor they provide, they tend to let their bias for certain differences, whether it's caste, creed, color, race, gender, based on these differences, they at times give more money to someone of a higher caste, or lower money to someone of a different race, things like that, rather than just measuring how much money to give according to how much labor the worker has put. And dispersed development of industries. So what this means is, we talked about income disparity, interstate disparity between, interstate disparity basically means some states are more advanced, more rich, more literate, whereas some states are backwards in financial or educational, etc. Aspects like that. So dispersed development basically means it's not just development focused on one area or one district or one state. It's dispersed, it's collective, so there are many areas together will develop. It's spread out, so that when everyone develops together, the nation as a whole collectively develops. And linkage with other sectors of the economy, so they are no longer just this individual industry, they are connected with other sectors of the economy. Promotion of small scale industries and rural industrialization has been considered by the government as a powerful instrument for realizing the twin objectives of accelerated industrial growth and creating additional productive employment potential in rural and backward areas. So basically, I already used the idiom, but two birds with one stone. By promoting small scale and rural industries, what government of India has done is, the stone is small scale and rural industries, and the two birds they've hit is, one bird is accelerated industrial growth. So industrial growth that happens at a much faster rate, with all this employment potential, with all these newfound industries. When we all add together, the progress in terms of industrial growth will be a lot faster. So that's one of the birds it hits, accelerated industrial growth, and also it gives a lot of employment opportunities in the rural and backward areas. So they don't have to go to the urban areas in search of jobs. They'll be able to find jobs in their own rural and backward areas. So that's the stone is promotion of small scale industries, and the two birds are, one, faster industrial growth, and also employment opportunities in the rural and backward areas. However, all this, I've mentioned a lot of good things about small scale industries, but not all of this potential is actually utilized in a country mainly because of the size. Many problems related to size. So everything that has been said is true, but it is all potential, and a lot of the times this huge amount of potential that small scale industries have is we fail to recognize its potential and utilize it. Okay, so next topic is government assistance to small business units. So today we're only going to be talking about two government assistant types. That is, one is National Small Industries Corporation, NSIC. So this was set up in 1955. I just want to repeat, National Small Industries Corporation. N stands for National Small Industries Corporation. It was set up in 1955, and its objective was to promote, help, and be involved in the growth of small business units in the country. It focuses on commercial aspects of these functions, like supply indigenous and imported machines on easy hire purchase terms, procure, supply, and distribute indigenous and imported raw materials, export the products of small business units, and develop export worthiness. So to just summarize, this is a corporation. It's called the National Small Industries Corporation. I want you to repeat with me, National Small Industries Corporation. And this was set up in 1955. Its objective was to basically promote, help, and be involved, foster the growth of these small business units in the country. and they focus on the commercial aspects of these functions, like they supply them with indigenous and imported machines on easy hire purchase terms. So they supply indigenous and imported machines, and they procure, supply, and distribute. So they collect and supply and distribute. They distribute indigenous and imported raw materials. So we talked about how they give supply machines, imported machines, and now this is they also collect, supply, and distribute these said machines, and they also export the products of small business units and develop export worthiness. So they help export these products. All the commodities that the small businesses have made, they export them, and they also help in making it export worthy. That means increasing the quality of the products, so that it's not just something to be sold in the rural areas. It can be sold anywhere, even exported to rural urban areas, or even across the country, abroad. So yeah, and they also provide mentoring and advisory services. So basically that means mentoring, advising people, helping people, giving guidance on certain things. One, service technology business incubators basically means there is this technology. I'll just give this example. There's this technology, when eggs, in a lot of industries now, they don't really wait for the chicken to sit on the egg so that they can take the eggs and sell them, or they can allow these eggs to be grown into chicks. What they do is they have these machines in which they place the eggs, and it kind of mimics the temperature that it would get by a hen sitting on top of it. So what it does is it artificially makes these gives heat to these eggs and allows them to grow into properly grown chicks. So it serves the technology business incubators. So this kind of like that, what they do is they help provide all this advice, and kind of incubates them, lets them grow under their guidance, creates awareness on technological upgradation. So since it's small scale industries, some people may be reluctant to expand or buy newer tech, whether that's just their own they're used to their own standard ways, or they are just reluctant or financially unable to purchase. So they create awareness on why it's important that they upgrade their tech, and developing software technology parks and technology transfer centers. So they also develop software technology parks and technology transfer centers. So two things to keep in mind. Now, another one of these government assistance unit is the district industries centers. So DIC, district industries centers, district industries center. Okay, so the district industry center was launched on 1st of May 1978. 1st May 1978, and the other one was launched on 1955. Okay, so this one is launched on 1st May 1978, and it aims to provide an integrated administrative framework at the district level, which would look at the problems of industrialization in the district in a composite manner. So just to sum it up, basically what it means is it aims to provide a proper administrative framework at district level. When we think about the administrative framework, like administration, how they manage the business, this DIC, these centers, which was launched on 1st May 1978, they aim to provide a proper framework on how the management should work at the district level, and also they kind of just analyze and identify the problems of industrialization in these districts in a very real manner, because they are in there witnessing the real events. So identification of suitable schemes, preparation of feasibility reports, arranging for credit, machinery and equipment, provision of raw materials and other extension services are the main activities undertaken by these centers. So basically another thing they do is they identify suitable schemes, they identify proper ways in which the businesses can grow, and they prepare feasibility reports. They prepare reports as in what the capabilities of these industries are. They arrange for credit, they allow them to get the required funding, and they also arrange machinery and equipment, and they allow to get the funding financial funding, machinery, equipment, and they also collect raw materials and other extension services are the main activities undertaken by these centers. And with that, we're done with this specific portion. Now, this will go on the next video about entrepreneurship and its various aspects and all those things will in the next video. Thank you for watching. Link in the description below.